Hi. For this sort of half an hour gentle opening session, we're going to need a blanket that we can fold into about this shape, and we can either have it about an inch thick, or if you feel you want to make it a little more higher lift, we can fold it to about 3 inches thick. The other way we're going to use this blanket is to roll it into a long sort of cylinder shape like thus. Okay, and we'll be doing that at the end of the session. Okay, so if you haven't, go find yourself a blanket and have it all nicely folded and ready for you, and then we'll begin. We'll start this session in a semi-supine position, so bringing yourself lengthways on the mat and gently lowering yourself down into a semi-supine position, taking time to allow your lower back to open up. Keep the elbows away from the sides of the body, bend the elbows and allow the palms of the hands to rest on the abdominal wall. Ease the shoulder blades in underneath you and lengthen the neck. Allow the head to just be restful in this position, nicely balanced. The legs parallel with each other, the feet about hip distance apart. Close your eyes and start to bring your attention inwards, using your breathing to allow yourself to settle into this posture. If you feel you want to let the knees tip in towards each other so you're not holding tension in the hips, that's fine. Please feel free to do that. And then coming back to the breath and just observing the rhythm of your breathing, being aware of the warmth of your hands against the abdomen. Start to create a sense of openness in the front of the body. Relax through the forehead and the eyes. Relax the jaw and the tongue and the mouth. Relax the throat and the neck. Allow yourself to soften through the shoulders, feeling the heart center open. Relaxing through the lower rib cage and solar plexus. And releasing tension in the lower abdomen as best you can. And as you start to feel yourself releasing tension in the front surface of the body and creating this sense of openness, feel yourself drawing in or feeding your own sense of healing energy. Begin to gently create a diaphragmatic breath. The abdomen subtly rising and falling with the movement of the diaphragm. So we're not engaging lots of strength in the abdominal wall or anything like that. It's just the deep breath, the diaphragm gently massaging the organs in the abdomen, allowing us to settle into this position. Starting to lengthen the breath, slowing it down, but keeping it easy. Remember, we're not straining, we're not forcing. We're keeping this whole practice comfortable and at ease. If you allow the knees to tilt in towards each other in this posture, sort of bring them in line now, so ankles, knees and hip joints in line. And we're going to do some very gentle pelvic tilting. So on your next out breath, you're going to push through the legs a little bit, as if you were trying to slide the body up towards the top of the mat. And what will happen is your pelvis will tilt and your lower back will push into the floor without using lots of tension in your abdomen. And then as you breathe in, sort of pull your heels back towards your tail. Your feet won't actually move, but your lower back will lift off the floor and your abdomen will open a little bit more. And then just carry on with that. So you're using your legs to create the pelvic tilting action, rather than tightening up your abdominal wall and your pelvic floor. So we're creating movement in the lower body area without lots of muscle action in the lower body area. So just gently flexing, and it can be very, very subtle. We're not trying to do big, extravagant movements. Keeping all our movements within our comfort zone. Explore the range of movement by all means, but be wary of going too far. Nice gentle movements in time with your breathing. Everything you do in this session is to promote a better sense of well-being about yourself. The next time you breathe out and push through those legs a little bit, flatten your lower back. Just keep that lower back nice and flat this time. Still keep breathing. And then we're going to work with the left leg first. And on your next exhalation, you're just going to let that left knee gently drop to the side there. Keep your right leg where it is. And just let your left hip open. Now, if this is a little bit tender or a little bit tight here, you might want to put a cushion underneath that leg and bring your leg down onto the support of a cushion or a pillow or even your rolled up blanket. And then in breath, gently bring that knee up to center. Now you can use your left hand to bring that leg back up to center if there's any soreness on the inside of the thigh or the groin. And then out breath, release the left knee back out to the side, nice and carefully. Just letting the hip open, groin open. Lovely. In breath. Again, use the hand if you feel you need to just help the knee come back to that upright position. Maybe 2 or 3 more times. Out breath, release it over. As I say, coming down onto a cushion or some sort of support if you feel that's relevant. In breath, bring it back. Nice and easy, using the hand if you need. Maybe once more. Endeavouring to keep the pelvis level. You can keep the right hand on the right hip bone there. Just to think about keeping the pelvis level as you open up the left hip. So next time the left knee is back into its semi-supine position, pause there for a moment. Think about your lower back staying nice and flat, but again without tension in the abdomen. Of course, we'll work on the right side now. So if you feel you need to be careful here, use the blanket that you've got, double fold it, place it just to the side of your right leg, and then on the out breath, very carefully, very gently, allowing your right hip to open as you bring that right leg down onto the support, as I say, of a cushion or the roll up blanket. It's up to you. And then again, I would suggest, given the circumstances, you use the right hand, pushing the elbow into the floor to just help that leg come back up to center. See how it feels. Out breath, gently lower it over, and hip open. Keeping the pelvis level. Release that leg completely into the support of the cushion, blanket or floor. And then in breath. Again, using the hand if need be to bring the knee back to center. A few more times. Make sure you let go of all the tension possible at the end of that exhalation before you start to bring the knee back up to center. You could even take a couple of breaths with it in that open position if you felt that was a better place to be. So next time you bring the right knee back to center, pause there. We're back in our semi-supine position. And come back to that gentle sort of rocking action, pushing through the legs to rock your lower back into the floor. And then pulling through the legs to lift your lower back. And just let that gently flex and move. Wonderful. Okay, next time your lower back is on the floor, we're going to take the blanket either folded so it's about 3 inches thick, or if you feel starting off with it slightly thinner would be a better place to start. Of course, please feel free to explore this. You probably want the folded edge of the mat towards your spine. And we're going to breathe in and gently lift the pelvis off the floor, nice and easy, and bring the mat underneath the back of the pelvis. So the fold, or the top edge of the mat, is on the back of the waistband. Okay. So your sacral bone is in the support of the blanket. Lovely. And we can bring the hips to rest on the blanket. Hands can remain on the abdomen if you wish, if you like that idea of the warmth of the hands on the abdomen, still breathing nice and steady. And what we've done is we've come into a very subtle supported bridge posture. Shoulder blades in underneath you, the neck is lengthened. And we're just taking a few breaths here, getting used to this position. And then from this position, gently extending your left leg away. So stretching or extending the left leg away towards the bottom of the mat, and allow that leg to relax and soften and roll outwards slightly. Releasing any tension in that left hip. And then, of course, very carefully, just gently extending your right leg away and allowing that right leg to roll out slightly, opening up that right hip. And again, just coming back to your breath here for a moment. You're in a very slight back bend. Feel that openness across the abdomen. And just come back to the breath for a moment. Breathing in. Think about breathing in and accepting positive energy through the lower body. Let the shoulders move back into the floor slightly and feel the heart lift a little bit maybe. Keep the neck soft. Just stay with the breathing for a moment. And that sense of openness in the front of the body. Mindful stretching. Very carefully, bringing the left knee back into a semi-supine position. So we're gently lifting that left leg, bending the knee, bringing the foot to the floor. And we do the left leg first so we can push through that left leg to help bring the right leg up. And bring our right leg back into its semi-supine position. So the legs parallel with each other, feet nice and grounded, toes in contact with the floor. Still got this openness in the front of the body. And then carefully pushing down through the feet a little bit so we can take the weight off the blanket. We're not lifting the pelvis high, literally just taking the weight off it so we can take it out from underneath the hips. And then gently roll back down into your full semi-supine position. Gently lowering the sacral bone back onto the floor. And then, if comfortable for you, extend the legs away again. Start with the left leg Just extend it away towards the bottom end of the mat. Relax that left leg, and then very carefully extend the right leg towards the end of the mat. And again, relax and soften through the hip, the thigh, and across the lower abdomen. Come back to your breathing and just settle here. Give the body a chance to settle into the position. Wonderful. The shoulder blades still flat on the floor. We're going to have a little stretch through the left hand side. So bring the left leg in line. So we're just getting a bit of energy through that left leg, pointing the toes away. And then breathe in. Sweep the right arm around along, keep it long and close to the floor. And just bring, not the right arm, the left arm. Bring the left arm around and bring it alongside the head. And just reach away from the left toes to the left fingertips. Nice and carefully. Keep the shoulder blade flat on the floor. Try and get the whole length of the arm flat on the floor. And just feel a nice gentle stretch through that left flank. Right side remains relaxed and at ease. Each in-breath may be reaching out through that left side a little bit further, and each out-breath soften. But again, be gentle with yourself. Focus more on your ability to relax into the position rather than how strong you can stretch. Feel the shoulder blade and the shoulder drop into the floor with each out breath. And then on your next out breath, bring that left arm round, keeping it close to the floor. Bring it back down by your side. You can bring the left hand back onto the abdomen and relax the leg out to the side. And see if we can do the same with the right side. So when you're ready, bringing the right leg into position. We're just turning the leg so the toes are pointing towards the ceiling. And then gently extend the toes away, creating a little bit of length in that right leg. Keep the shoulder blade nice and flat on the floor, the right arm close to the floor. Breathing in, sweep the arm around, circle it round, bringing the right arm alongside the head. That's an in-breath. And then on the out-breath, soften into that position. And then from there, just breathe in and lengthen from the tips of the toes to the tips of the fingers. Be careful here. Remember, don't move into pain, but create a sense of openness. You're creating space. In-breath, gently extending, out-breath, softening. Mindfully stretching, consciously creating healing energy within you. Next exhalation, sweep that right arm round, bringing it back down by your side. Bend the elbow. You can bring that right hand back to rest on the abdomen again. Feel the warmth of the hand, the healing energy of that hand going into your hips and lower abdomen. Right leg is relaxed, it's rolled out to the side slightly. You're still steady and calm. Heart open, abdomen long. See if we can take that stretch just a little bit further. We'll start with the left side again. But this time we're going to begin by just crossing your left ankle over your right. So just cross your left ankle over your right. Don't move the right leg, just the left. And then on an inhalation, keeping the left arm close to the floor, sweep it around. Bring it right up alongside the head. Shoulder blade stays flat on the floor. And you're just going to stretch that left arm just slightly over beyond the crown of the head. So it's a very gentle side stretch here. The left upper arm is right next to your ear. And you're going to breathe in and just lengthen from your left toes to your left fingertips. But instead of a straight line now like we were doing earlier on, there's now an arc there, there's a curve. Shoulder blade stays flat on the floor. And we feel ourselves just creating a little bit more space through the rib cage and the side of the waist, and along the outside of the thigh, knee, shin. Lovely. Next out breath, sweep the left arm back round by your side. Bend the elbow, maybe bring the hand onto the abdomen. And then uncross the left ankle from the right. And you're back into this central position. Nice steady breath. Legs relaxed, shoulders level, neck long, face soft. Take a few breaths here. And then when you feel ready, very gently just crossing that right ankle over your left and just relax it there. Try and keep the right buttock into the floor. And then keeping the shoulder blade flat on the floor, the arm close to the floor, breathe in. See if you can sweep that right arm around. Nice long in-breath as you bring that right arm alongside the head. And right next to it, you're actually touching the side of your head there. And maybe just bring the hands slightly around beyond the crown of the head and reach out a little bit. Breathe in, just lengthen there. Out breath, soften the shoulders, soften the arms, soften the spine, the leg. So we've got this lovely, graceful curve to the right side of the body. Breathing steady. Out breath, bring that right arm back down by your side. Bend the elbow, bring the hand back to rest on the abdomen. Feel the warmth of the hand against the tummy, the hip. And then very gently just letting that right ankle unhook from the left, come back into that central position, just for a moment. Come back to your breathing, nice and steady. We're going to come to sitting, so think about how you're going to come up to sitting roll onto a comfortable side and very gently mind your back, and of course be careful with your hips and thighs and abdomen. So gently turning onto a comfortable side, bringing yourself to sitting. If you can sit cross-legged, go for it. But if you need to sit straight-legged or with your legs slightly apart, then do that. You might find it beneficial to sit on the folded blanket that you've got, just to bring the hips up a little higher, to give yourself a bit more space in the lower abdomen and the groin. Of course, if you have a yoga block there, a 2-inch yoga block will do the job just fine. So working on a bit of core strength now. So as you bring yourself into alignment and let the shoulders drop back, drawing up through Mula Bandha, so that it's that internal lifting. So again, be wary that you're not suddenly putting lots of effort into your abdomen. You can have a hand on each knee and use your shoulders to help maintain the posture. But as our focus on this session is to maintain openness in the front of the body, feel yourself lengthen from pubis bone to navel, navel to solar plexus to heart, heart to throat. The support of the posture is coming from the back of the body, but the whole surface of the back of the body. The weight is on the sit bones and the shoulders are relaxed onto the shoulder gird, onto the rib cage, but they're being drawn back a little bit so the heart is open. Finding your transverse abs, each side of your abdomen, so it's not a six-pack thing, okay? And just drawing and finding a little bit of support there with the transverse abs and your obliques. It's that sort of Pilates understanding of core support. Now again, don't get intense about it. Just find those muscles. And if you're using the arms to help sustain your upright position, maybe bring the hands into the lap and see how long you can sit upright for before the body starts to ache. And of course, when it starts to ache, we can bring the arms back into support and relax a little bit through the midsection. If you feel comfortable enough to carry on working in an upright position, then we'll move on from here. If you feel you've had enough, of course, stop the DVD, lay yourself down, take a rest. But if you're happy to carry on, keep the right hand around the right knee maybe, just to help to keep your body nice and upright. Bring your left arm by your side and we're going to breathe in and just gently take that left arm up towards the ceiling. Reaching up comfortably so. And then out breath, bring the left arm down. Still working with the left arm. Length of the movement, length of the breath. In breath as you extend the arm up. Reaching up from that left sitting bone to the fingertips. And out breath coming down. So the movement's coming from your shoulder girdle. Opening up the rib cage and gently stretching into the side of the waist. We're not side bending. At this point, once more on that left side. Notice where it's pulling into the groin and the abdomen. When the left hand comes down on this exhalation, bring the left hand onto the left knee just to help you support the body. Bring your right arm by your side. Keep the body upright. Keep the front of the body nice and open, remember. And then we'll do the same on this side. So breathing in, very carefully, just swinging that right arm up and reaching up. Mindfully, remember this is stretching all the way down into the groin. So be careful here. Out breath, bringing the arm down. And a few more times if you're comfortable with it. Keeping the front of the body open and of course creating a bit of length and openness in that right side. Maybe once more. Okay, right arm comes down. Pause there for a moment, relax the shoulders. You can have a hand on each knee. Or if you're comfortable holding this posture with Mula Bandha, keeping it nice and upright, keeping that openness in the front of the body. So we're building up tone around the midsection just by sitting upright here. It's a nice subtle way of developing core strength without doing all planks and postures like that. But being mindful that you're actually sitting upright, so there's space in the abdomen, navel, solar plexus, heart. We don't want the front of the body to collapse down. Let's see if we can create a little bit more openness in the heart center. So in this upright position, maybe sweeping the arms around, and we can link the hands behind us. Roll the shoulders back and then extend the arms behind us. Squeezing the shoulder blades in behind the spine there and allowing your heart center to open a little bit further. We're not arching backwards. The weight is still on the sit bones. We're not tipping forwards. Just letting the shoulders drop down away from the ears, but go back. Just getting that nice little stretch across the heart center. Keep breathing. Lovely. Out breath. Soften the hands down towards the tail. Sweep the arms around, bringing a hand onto each knee again. Soften the shoulders, lengthen the neck. Lovely. Now we're going to keep the spine straight here and do a bit of Sufi rolling. So we're not circling the abdomen in my usual sort of hula hoop movement. The body stays straight and we circle the upper body. So be very careful here. The movement's coming from your lower body. And you're tilting the body forwards and then taking it gently over to one side, tilting the body back. We keep the spine straight. These don't have to be big circles. In fact, I would recommend that you keep them very subtle. But you're making circles with the whole of the body. Use your arms to support the movement. And again, keep the movement within your comfort zone. So be aware of any discomfort where you've had your operation. So it could be very, very subtle circles. Do a few rotations in one direction and then carefully come back the other way. So we're not flexing the abdomen, we're not flexing the spine. We're really just sort of rolling on the points of your sit bones here. And when you've done an equal amount of rotations in each direction, come back to center, pause, come back to your breathing. And that idea of just creating openness in the front of the body. Feel steady and calm. Remembering that your yoga practice is a holistic practice. It's not only about attending to the physical self, but it's working with your subtle energy body as well, manipulating and moving energy, pranic energy around you. And of course, it's also about the psychological approach to what we're doing. And if we find ourselves closing down because something has hurt us, then to bring ourselves into balance, to take time to begin to gently open up. I'd like to finish it back in our supine position. So if you get your blanket and now sort of turning it into that roll, so you want it probably about 2 foot long, about that length. So it's about the length of your spine at least, if not a little longer. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this blanket, this rolled up blanket, lengthways down our spine. So if you roll it up and sort of bring it behind you from your sitting position, so it's right down on the floor at the base of your spine, and then you're gently just going to lay back on it. Lovely. And you find that your head just sort of drops off the end of the blanket. Lovely. And your shoulder blades fall down either side. If you're happy to have your legs crossed in this position, then please feel free to be in that position, or you can bring the soles of the feet together. But that may be a bit dynamic for you at the moment. So have the legs extended away or semi-supine position. I would suggest extended away like we did previously and allow the legs to roll out. But of course, it's up to how you feel. Take the arms out to the sides, palms turned up, so they're about 45 degrees away from the body. And you're balancing on the length of this rolled blanket. Lovely. The head is off the end of the blanket, so the throat is open. Your shoulder girdle is dropping down either side, so we get this lovely opening stretch across the chest. Lovely. We feel a sense of real openness through the solar plexus and the navel. But our pelvis is on the floor. Your sacral bone is on the mat. So it's giving us a slightly different aspect of openness in the lower abdomen. So once you've found this position, Shavasana. Close the eyes. And as you breathe in, think about breathing in through the front surface of the body. And as you breathe out, soften and surrender into the support of the blanket underneath your spine and the floor beneath you. And maybe when you breathe in, think about breathing in all those positive things we need to sustain us in life. Self-healing, tolerance, love, compassion. And as you breathe out, see if you can let go of some of the negativity that can build up within us. However you recognize that. Feel yourself open with each inhalation and surrender and soften with each exhalation. If your thoughts begin to wander, just let those thoughts go. And bring yourself back to the practice, breathing in those positive things. That lift and lighten us, and releasing the negative things that weigh us down and restrict us. Out of this, I would suggest you roll gently over onto your left side so you can take the blanket out from underneath you and then come back into Shavasana for a moment. Take a few resting breaths here. And when you're ready, bring the left knee up into a semi-supine position. So you can push a little bit through your left leg to help you bring your right leg up. Semi-supine. And again, take a few breaths here. We're not rushing anything. Allow time for yourself. very gently bring yourself into a sitting position again. So rolling over onto a comfortable side, being careful as you bring yourself upright. And again, either sitting cross-legged or straight-legged. Finding that nice upright position again, shoulders back, abdomen open, heart open, throat open, head balanced. Maybe the hands on the knees, maybe the hands in the lap. Come back to your breathing. Bring the hands into the prayer position. Relax the shoulders. I value myself. I value my well-being. And I work to increase those values. Om Shanti.